What's up, guys? We got UFC Seattle, Cejudo versus Song, full card recap, and I'm excited to break this one down after what was an absolute banger fight card. I mean, we had 7 fights on the prelim, all 7 of them ended via finish. Yes, we had a very controversial ending that we're going to get to later on, but this card absolutely delivered. There was finishes left and right and barely any decision. And the decisions and the fights that went to the decisions were still absolutely phenomenal scraps. So let's go ahead and jump right into the recap with the first bout of the night being Modestas Bukauskas versus Rafael Cerqueira. And if you guys remember, I was on Bukauskas' side. I thought Rafael Cerqueira had not been up against the best competition. He was kind of up against bums that looked like they were coming fresh off the couch. And Modestas Bukauskas kind of proved that here. He absolutely ran through Cerqueira. Cerqueira's chin is not there. Bukauskas caught him early in the first round with the left hand, and then you could see Cerqueira lose his balance, kind of start to wobble, fall back on the fence, and Bukauskas start to land some devastating combinations and put Rafael Cerqueira completely out on the ground. It was absolutely brutal. You could see Rafael Cerqueira, he completely went, his body completely shut down. Modestas Bukauskas landed some nice combinations in close and absolutely KO'd Rafael Cerqueira, which is exactly what I saw coming. I knew Bukauskas was the much better striker and the more explosive striker, so I kind of figured this one would be ending via knockout, and Modestas Bukauskas delivered that within the first round. And I'm excited to see where Modestas Bukauskas goes after this, to be completely honest. He is a very skilled fighter, and he absolutely ran through Rafael Cerqueira just like Ibo Aslan did. And even did it better, to be completely honest, because Ibo Aslan didn't put him completely out. Modestas Bukauskas did. So that is something to note. But let's go ahead and run it to the next fight in Nursulton Ruziboev versus McConico. And I called this one down to a T. I mean, I knew Ruziboev was going to knock him out. I honestly thought it was going to be the first round that he knocked him out in, but he got him in the second round. The first round was a little bit of figuring out. You could see McConico was completely gun shy. It was actually awful, to be completely honest. He was throwing kicks from the outside, but that's about it. Ruziboev was there in his face, putting pressure on him the entire fight, and was just landing these nice 1-2s straight down the middle. He had a nice hook in there, but ultimately it was that straight right that caught McConico and had him doing the chicken dance. I mean, that straight right from Ruziboev caught him cleanly. McConico lost his balance, fell to the canvas, and you could see Ruziboev follow him up with some nice brutal left hooks on the ground and finishing it up. I mean, I had Ruziboev on this one, and I called it by knockout, and it's exactly what happened. Ruziboev was the much better fighter, and we all kind of figured that, I feel like, because he was just coming off of the loss to Buckley, which is a whole lot better than a debuting McConico. And he proved it. Ruziboev got the brutal knockout in the second round. Let's go. And let's run it to the next fight on this card, which is, again, another knockout finish by none other than Austin Vanderford, and I had him to beat Nikolay. I thought he would use a little bit more striking, but no, he used the grappling to the best of his ability. He took down Nikolay, was garnering that control time, was landing some devastating elbows from top position. Not only that, some devastating hooks. He was just absolutely peppering him with shots as he was controlling him on the ground. And that ended up leading him to the second round, where he did exactly the same. He followed the exact same suit that he did the first round, took him down to the ground, garnered that control time, and started hammering down on him from top position, and ultimately got the technical knockout finish. I thought Austin Vanderford was going to use more of the striking, but no, he mixed it up. He used the grappling along with the striking and found success in getting the technical knockout finish over Nikolay. And Nikolay was absolutely furious. I mean, we all saw him shove Austin Vanderford after getting the technical after losing to Austin Vanderford via technical knockout. He shoved him, and that was a terrible, terrible look. I mean, we all know he's most likely going to get cut after that, because you cannot be doing that. You cannot be shoving your opponent after he just beat you because of the fact that he beat you. I mean, it's not his fault that the ref may have called it early. There's nothing Austin can do about it. You lost, you lost. Now you just doubled down, made an even dumber move, and pushed and shoved Austin Vanderford, probably leading to you not even being able to get another shot and being cut. So dumb move on Nikolay's part, and there's not much more I could say about him. He pulled a dumbass move, and he's going to pay the price for it. Austin Vanderford looked absolutely phenomenal. He's Paige Van Zandt's boyfriend, and he went out there and proved himself, proved that he has his own name, and delivered a technical knockout finish over Nikolay, and looked phenomenal doing so. And let's throw it to the next fight, in which I was completely wrong on this one. I mean, I had Basharat. Basharat looked phenomenal early. You could see Ricky Simón kind of having problems catching Javid Basharat because of the fact that Basharat's so mobile, so elusive on the feet. But no, the elusive stopped. The elusivity ended up getting Basharat caught, to be completely honest. I mean, Ricky Simón landed a 1-2 straight down the pipe and put Basharat clean out on his back. Like, clean out. The power from Ricky Simón is none other. I thought Basharat was going to be able to stay on the outside, be able to outpoint, outstrike Ricky Simón. Boy, was I wrong. Ricky Simón stepped up in the pocket, landed a 1-2 straight down the middle, and put Basharat clean out on his back. And man, oh man, was that a brutal knockout. You could see Basharat had a little trouble getting up. It took him a while to get up, but eventually he got up. He was able to stand for the knockout call for the after the fight, is what I'm trying to say. So at least he was able to come back to his senses and looked at least relatively good. He probably ended up going to the hospital after, but either way, he made a phenomenal recovery, and Ricky Simón delivered an absolutely brutal statement. I mean, after coming off of multiple losses and then delivering a 1-2 down the middle to sit down a hype Basharat, insane. I mean, Ricky Simón is a savage, came in there and proved everybody wrong that he still has it. And I mean, I don't even know what to say. That was devastating knockout. Good shit to anybody that was on the Ricky Simón side. I was on the Basharat side. And let's run it to the next fight on this card in Mansur Abdul-Malik versus Nick Klein. And this one was an interesting one. We had Mansur coming in at a negative 1,500 to start this fight, and Nick Klein coming in at a negative, or at a plus like 800, plus 900. And Nick Klein ended up catching Mansur early in this fight. They were having a lot of back and forth, kind of a lot of grappling exchanges going down in the sense of clinches along the fence, in which you could see Nick Klein, as they're coming together, as they're tit for tat striking back and forth, you could see Nick Klein throw a spinning elbow and catch Mansur on the chin. It was a clean shot by Nick Klein that had Mansur absolutely wobbled, absolutely stunned. But then something I feel like that Nick Klein, one of the low IQ moves that he made, he ended up starting to clinch with Mansur after landing that brutal shot, which in my opinion was kind of a low IQ move. I mean, you just absolutely tagged him on the feet, and now you want to clinch with him, kind of let him recover. No, I feel like he should have kept it in the striking realm, kept putting on that pressure and putting on that pace on Mansur, and maybe we could have saw a win from Nick Klein, but he chose the opposite, let Mansur kind of recover, let him get that energy and that explosiveness back, and Mansur, that second round, came out and delivered, started putting a pace on Nick Klein. You could see Nick Klein starting to feel the shots from Mansur. Mansur was mixing it up to the head, to the body, and really eating away at that midsection of Nick Klein, and ended up getting the technical knockout over Nick Klein because he was beating him the hell up. And Nick Klein, I feel like, just blew his wad in that first round and kind of just didn't take full advantage of the fact that he had him completely wobbled and hurt, and ended up paying the price in the second round, getting technical knocked out by Mansur, in what was a great comeback knockout for Mansur Abdul-Malik. in which I had him to win. So great shit if you were on Mansur's side. And let's throw it to the next fight, in which I had Andre Fili. Straight up, I thought Andre Fili was going to be able to put up a better fight than he did. But he honestly kind of made a low IQ move as well in this fight. I mean, he kind of doubled down in his takedown attempt on Costa, leaving him wide open to a clear guillotine that Costa was already trying to set in place. And I feel like Fili, you could kind of tell that Costa was setting it in place, but Fili still doubled down, went in deeper into the takedown, and Costa locks up that guillotine and locks in the submission. I mean, I don't really know what Andre Fili was trying to do. I feel like he should have kept it on the feet, maybe mixed in some grappling, but mainly keep it on the feet. That's where he has the striking advantage and where he was looking a little bit better, to be completely honest. Yes, he had a slow start, but I mean, he could have started to find his range, but no, he makes the simple mistake, digs deeper, doubles down into the takedown, and leaves a wide open guillotine choke for Costa, in which he takes full advantage and locks it up and gets the first round submission finish over Andre Fili. And man, oh man, did everybody's rounds get absolutely smacked in this card, because I had Andre Fili over. I thought that this fight would go over. I also thought that the fight between Ricky Simon and Javid Basharat would go the distance, but no, both of those ended up getting finished early, along with the other 7 on these prelims, which was absolutely insane. So if you had any of the rounds, you got absolutely shafted along with me. But getting back to this fight, Melsik Costa delivered a perfect finish in the first round, and his striking looked phenomenal, to be completely honest. He was very elusive with his striking, and he looked clean and crisp with his combinations. Melsik Costa, if you had him via submission, good shit. I had Andre Fili. I was on the wrong side of this one. And let's go ahead and run it to the next fight on this card, in which was Cutelaba versus Ibo Aslan. And I was on the wrong side of this one as well. I had Ibo Aslan. I had my doubts about Cutelaba. I mean, he's inconsistent at times. He really just sometimes looks really good, sometimes just looks really trash. But here he delivered, and delivered in an unexpected way at that. We all thought that this fight was going to end with somebody getting knocked out. Whether it be Ibo Aslan, whether it be Cutelaba. We thought somebody was getting knocked out. But no. Cutelaba showed that he is a very well-rounded fighter, and that Ibo Aslan has holes in his game in the grappling area. Cutelaba took him down, garnered some control time, ended up locking in a arm triangle as they are tying in with some grappling, and locks up the arm triangle and delivers a submission finish over Ibo Aslan, which was like a plus 1200. Absolutely insane ending to what we thought was going to be a sleeper, in the sense of somebody was going to sleep. I mean, this was absolutely phenomenal by Cutelaba. He showed that he has some grappling skills and delivered a check on Ibo Aslan, which many were thinking was the next up-and-coming star. I mean, he has devastating knockout power with like 12 first-round finishes. But here, he got checked, and Cutelaba walks away with the submission finish over Ibo Aslan. And let's go ahead and run it to the main card opener in Alonzo Menifield versus Julius Walker. And I feel like this was a great fight, to be completely honest. You had Alonzo Menifield, who was my pick, and he ended up taking the split decision win over Julius Walker. But Julius Walker actually gave him a hell of a fight. A hell of a fight. I know for a fact we will be seeing Julius Walker again. He gave the light heavyweight, the 15th ranked light heavyweight, one of his most difficult fights. He looked phenomenal. Julius Walker tagged him early in the first round, had Alonzo Menifield kind of wobbling, and was picking him apart in that first round. He also mixed in a takedown, garnered some control time. I thought Walker looked phenomenal in that first round. He honestly had me worried. Then come second round, Alonzo Menifield started to look a lot better. You could see Julius Walker start to tire out. Alonzo Menifield's striking started to pick up and started to he started to find the target. started mixing in those combinations, and started clipping Julius Walker. Then come the third round, it's a very tit-for-tat close fight. I thought the third round was very, very close, but then you could see Julius Walker start to get tired, and you could see Alonzo Menifield striking start to pick up, and he starts tagging Julius Walker, starts mixing up the combinations, starts mixing it up to the head, to the body, and starts landing some nice calf kicks as well. He was doing a phenomenal job in that third round, and ended up getting the split decision win, in which was a phenomenal fight between Julius Walker and Alonzo Menifield. Julius Walker making his UFC debut and giving a tough fight to Alonzo Menifield, the number 15th ranked light heavyweight. I mean, that is very, very impressive. 30-27 by one judge is absolutely insane to me. I did not think Alonzo Menifield had 30-27. I did not think he won all 3 rounds. I thought Walker took first round and Menifield took second and third. I don't know who that judge was, but they are on something, because there was no way that Alonzo won 3 rounds. I think Julius took 1, Alonzo took 2 and 3, and he looked phenomenal in doing so. He faced adversity and he progressed through it. He looked completely in control in the second, third round, started taking over and started delivering with the striking side of things, and got the split decision win 29-28 over Julius Walker in a phenomenal win. Let's go, and let's run it to the next main card fight in Gene Silva versus Melsik Baghdasaryan. Gotta go ahead and throw these fighting nerds glasses on, because Gene Silva delivered again. He delivered an absolutely brutal knockout on Melsik Baghdasaryan. He threw a left hook that kind of grazed Baghdasaryan, and then a right straight down the pipe and laid Baghdasaryan out. And then he was standing over him like, "You want me to finish this? You want me to finish this?" And then followed him to the ground and started dicing him up with some right hands. Eventually, the ref stepped in, called it, and Gene Silva got the first round knockout in brutal fashion. I am excited to see where Gene Silva goes. I mean, he called out Bryce Mitchell, which I think was a phenomenal call out. I think we all want to see Gene Silva versus Bryce Mitchell. I think that is a great matchup, and I would be very, very excited to see that one. But let's go ahead and throw it back to this fight, because Gene Silva is a menace. He is on the rise. He is an up-and-coming prospect with deadly knockout power, and he absolutely delivered here against Melsik Baghdasaryan. I called this exactly how it happened. I knew that Gene Silva was going to knock him out. Baghdasaryan, he is too open for these counters, and that's exactly what he got hit with. A counter right straight down the pipe that sat him down, and we got a first round knockout by Gene Silva. I'm hyped to see his next opponent, and I hope it is Bryce Mitchell. And let's go ahead and run it to the next fight, which is the featured fight of the night in Rob Font versus Gene Matsumoto. This was a very, very phenomenal fight. I mean, back and forth throughout the entire fight. Matsumoto took the first round, I believe. That's exactly what I thought, at least. I mean, he had moments in that round. Yes, Font had moments as well, tagging him up, mixing it up to the head, to the body. Ultimately, Matsumoto did garner some control time in that first round, along with the second round garnered some control time, but was also getting tagged in the midst of it. And what really kind of set off the pace and the flurry of Rob Font was that jab. He was using that jab to the best of his ability, really tagging up Matsumoto as he's coming in. Also, something that really affected Matsumoto was the elbows of Rob Font. Rob Font's elbows and inside boxing was absolutely dirty. I mean, he was piecing him up on the inside, landing some brutal elbows, ended up landing a short elbow. He was fighting, just threw a short elbow like that, and caught Gene Matsumoto right on the forehead, and ended up causing a cut, and ended up causing him to leak blood. And it was kind of all over after that. You could see Rob Font start to completely take over in terms of striking, in terms of damage. I mean, Rob Font just kind of clicked on after he landed that short elbow and saw the blood. He started just putting together combinations, started piecing up Matsumoto, started mixing it up to the head, to the body. Also, he was starting to check the kicks of Matsumoto, starting to look a lot better in that third round. And we got the split decision win from Rob Font. I mean, we knew that he was a dog pick this week. We knew that he beat Kyler Phillips this past fight. And now we knew he was going to win against Matsumoto. And he did. He delivered. He came in that first round. He fought his ass off. He used that jab. He mixed up his shots to the head, to the body. And he had some good defensive grappling, in the sense of snubbing a couple of Matsumoto's takedowns and exploding back up to his feet when being taken down. Rob Font is a very, very good veteran, and I knew to go with him sitting at a plus 130, and then later on, as this fight came to fruition, plus 175, easy dog money for Rob Font. Many of the fans thought it was robbery. I did not. I thought Rob Font clearly got it. I thought that he put on the damage a lot more than Gene Matsumoto. He was throwing that jab out. He was mixing up his combinations. He was kind of pushing the pace. Matsumoto had some moments. Don't get me wrong. He looked good in this fight with the grappling. But the damage-wise has to go to Rob Font. He was clearly out-striking and out-damaging Gene Matsumoto and looked phenomenal in fraud-checking Gene Matsumoto via split decision, 29-28. Rob Font for the W. Let's go, and let's take these glasses off. Now, we got the co-main event of the evening in Brendan Allen versus Anthony Fluffy Hernandez, and I love this bout. This bout delivered. I mean, there was a lot of grappling exchanges, a lot of clinch, a lot of tie-ups in this fight, in which Anthony Hernandez showed that he had the better jiu-jitsu, which many people didn't even agree with me on. They thought that Brendan Allen had the better jiu-jitsu, but something I clearly stated was that he had quicker transitions, which he completely showed here. As soon as Brendan Allen had any control over him, he reversed it, or he flipped out of it, or I know that's not the correct term, but you get what I'm saying. He rolled out of it is what I'm trying to say, and ended up getting top position back on Brendan Allen multiple times. Yes, Brendan Allen a couple of times did have some reversals, but that's to be expected in a jiu-jitsu grappling match that they had. To be completely honest, it was a lot of grappling. And then you could see some of the striking exchanges actually favoring Brendan Allen, to be completely honest, which kind of shocked me a little bit. I thought Fluffy Hernandez was going to be a little bit better of a striker, seeing as he had the more explosive and better hands. But no, Brendan Allen actually had a moment where he tagged Anthony Hernandez pretty cleanly, to be honest, on the feet, and had a couple moments on the feet as well, mixing it up to the head, to the body, and working Anthony Hernandez in terms of striking. So then Anthony Hernandez had to do what he normally does. He took this to the grappling, where he has the complete advantage over Brendan Allen, took him down, garnered that control time. Yes, Brendan Allen snubbed some of his takedowns, which is to be expected. I mean, he has good grappling skills. But the relentless pressure of Anthony Hernandez to get these takedowns and to garner the control time was phenomenal. He showed that he was the all-around better fighter and got the unanimous decision, 29-28 over Brendan Allen, in which I thought was the perfect call. I had Anthony Hernandez via decision at a negative 130, and I thought that was exactly how this fight would go. I thought Brendan Allen was a very, very tough opponent. I thought for a second that Anthony Hernandez could possibly knock him out, but nope. I still was going with the decision because I knew that was the most likely outcome, and I got it perfectly. Anthony Hernandez showed that he was the better fighter in terms of grappling, in terms of striking, and got the unanimous decision, 29-28 over Brendan Allen. And let's go ahead and run it to the main event of the evening. And before we do so, make sure you guys go ahead and like and subscribe. And if you guys haven't joined the flock, we got members only shorts, members only live streams, members only group bets going down every week. So if you guys would like to, go ahead and join the flock down below. And let's go ahead and jump right into this main event with Henry Cejudo versus Song Yadong. And man, oh man, we had such an electric card up until this point. I mean, we had so many finishes. We had, 2 fights go to decision out of this whole entire card before this main event? And then we get to the main event, and we have a stellar fight. I mean, Song Yadong comes out. He's out striking, out maneuvering, and out damaging a Henry Cejudo. But then come the second and third round, you could kind of see Henry Cejudo's striking starting to pick up. I'm not going to lie, man. I was on Song Yadong's side. But Henry Cejudo's striking started to pick up a little bit. He started to find his groove, started to mix in his shots to the head into the body on Song Yadong, and was finding some success as the rounds came about. But then, come third round, there was a double eye poke in the mix of combinations between Song and Cejudo, in which they had to stop the fight. Cejudo had a full 5 minutes of timeout to get his eyes in order due to the fact of the double eye poke. And one of the eye pokes was definitely really, really brutal. I mean, the other one was kind of like, it was still an eye poke, but it wasn't as brutal as his left eye. It was completely inside his eye, and it was a devastating eye poke. I do think that they could have possibly taken a point, but Cejudo still was not fluttering his eye, and was not, like, he didn't look like he was having any trouble seeing out of it, to be completely honest. You know how they kind of, like, they go like this, they kind of flutter their eye if it's kind of bothering them, or if they can't really see out of it? I didn't really see that from Cejudo. He just kind of looked patient. He kind of looked like he was just kind of waiting for his energy to come back, and kind of just looking for an easy way out. I'm going to be completely honest. I could possibly be wrong. I saw him post about him actually having trouble with his eye. That could definitely be the problem, but it just, to me, he didn't have any of the normal signs of that other fighters show, where they're fluttering their eye, kind of showing that they had trouble seeing, whereas he just said, oh, I see double, I can't see, you don't see. All you see is him kind of rubbing his eye with the towel, but that's about it. Either way, it was a very, very controversial ending to a very weird fight, where they ended up going to technical decision in the third round, which was insane to me. I mean, I don't really understand it. The ref said since over half of the fight was over or done, that they could go to technical decision, which they ended up doing so. They started the fourth round, called the timeout, ended up calling off the fight due to the fact of the eye poke, went to technical decision, and Song Yadong walks away with the 29-28 unanimous decision in what was a very weird ending to a phenomenal card. I mean, every single fight up until this point was an absolute banger, whether it was a finish, whether it was a decision that was a tit-for-tat back-and-forth fight. It was phenomenal. And then we get to this ending, and it kind of just threw it all off. It was like, damn, we capped off the night with this? Like, really? It was awful, in which we could possibly see a rematch between Henry Cejudo and Song Yadong. Ultimately, Dana White says he does not want to see this rematch, but I think that we should see the rematch. I think that Cejudo, he was starting to pick up in terms of striking, and Song Yadong was looking phenomenal as well. I mean, I had Song Yadong to win. No knock on him. Yes, he had the foul and the eye pokes, but ultimately he was still out striking and outpointing Henry Cejudo. Yes, Henry Cejudo was starting to pick it up, but ultimately it is what it is. It comes down to the fact that he got eye poked. There's nothing we can do about it. The technical decision ended up happening, and it ended up going Song Yadong's way. We have to see and wait and see what happens, but hopefully we do get a rematch. And if you guys haven't, make sure you guys like and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.